Coming to you live from the Business RadioX studio, it's Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by IDS, an award-winning digital marketing agency that delivers integrated marketing solutions for franchisors, franchisees, and franchise development teams. Learn why over 75 brands depend on IDS's team of dedicated marketers and client service professionals to deliver a strong ROI on their marketing investment. Go to idsfranchisemarketing.com for a complimentary digital audit and consultation.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Franchise Marketing Radio, and this is going to be a fun one. Today on the show, we have Eric Myers with Junk Baby. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about Junk Baby. How you serving folks?
Yeah, Junk Baby was established about 12 years ago. We're a full-service residential and commercial hauling company. We've been doing it for quite a while, and we like to think we got it down pat. We decided why not franchise.
So what was that thought process like, though? Like, was it run initially as just a, kind of your own thing, and you were doing it locally, and then at some point you're like, hey, is there an opportunity here to kind of replicate this in other markets?
Yes, it started very organically. It was part-time to start. It was just a pickup truck and myself. And over time, it just gained momentum. And I said, you know what? I love this. I really love what I'm doing right now. So I hired somebody, got a bigger truck, and then things start to get rolling.
And then when did you realize like you had enough of an operation that can be replicated? Were you kind of documenting things all along, or was this something you like once you decided to franchise, you're like, hey, I better start, building out all those manuals and getting all this kind of written down so I can share this with others?
Yeah, for the first handful of years, it was kind of controlled chaos, trying to learn our way in and out of how to run the business. But to your point, as we got more into it, we knew we had to systematize. So we started documenting our processes and systematizing the business so that it could be put down on paper. We call it the book, and it can be replicated with other people.
So did you hire an outside firm, or did you just handle that internally?
Well, we started to handle it internally, and then we did hire an outside firm.
What was that moment where you're like, this is too much of a pain, I got to get somebody else to do this?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, and I'm not that guy, right? I'm not the type of guy that can do that systems and processes beyond what we were doing in our own backyard. But as we realized if we were going to grow within the company and to replicate what we're doing, to hand it off to other people, we figured we should better do it the right way.
And that's an important lesson for other emerging franchises, right? Like, you got to know what your lane is and lean into that rather than try to, be that ops guy if there's somebody better that can do it faster and with a lot less headache.
Absolutely. I mean, I consider myself, if I were to pick like a fictitious business for myself, I'd be more like a mayor. I like to get out there, hang with the people. I'm not that cross the T's, dot the I's type guy when it comes to making a system. But, once you see it on paper, it's just reading it and running with it.
And then, so once you started doing that and you had it documented, what was it like kind of going out to the market and saying, hey, this is available? Were you getting kind of organic interest at the beginning where that was kind of an easy transition? Or was it like starting from scratch and going out and let me find that first guy?
Yeah, there's a little bit of growing pains, with everything. When you make a transition, when you try and grow, you try and do something different, you're going to learn, and there'll be a couple mistakes along the way, and we learned from those. But it helps. It helps when you have an offering like this to be able to say, hey, listen, this is what we've been doing. This is what works. A lot of it is just, we call it common sense training in the office, CTS. Or CST rather. It's just common sense stuff. You're dealing with people. It's a people-oriented business. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, just working with people and making the right decisions.
Now, do you have a feel for that ideal franchisee yet, or are you still learning around that?
Anybody that's driven, anybody that thrives on variety, people that have a passion for caring for people, that's where we're looking for. That's what we're looking for in terms of a candidate. If you're driven, if you have a positive attitude, if You like different things day in and day out. I mean, in our industry, no job's the same. Even if you have the same repeat client, the job's going to be different. There'll be different challenges, whether it's staircases or you might have to have tight fits in certain areas. But as a whole, if you're driven, you care for people, and you're excited about what the next day will bring, that's the ideal candidate for us.
Now, as you're kind of growing now, is there a certain areas you're focusing in on? Are you starting around where you started and then kind of expand out from there? What is kind of the strategy when it comes to growth?
Yeah, we believe in responsible growth. We think starting in our backyard of New England and the Northeast is the best play. That said, we're talking to candidates all across the country, but our focus at the moment is New England and the Northeast.
And then are you looking for kind of that individual person at this stage just to get more out there, or are you going for that person who has a portfolio of services and this would be complementary in their portfolio?
Very flexible in that regard. We're really looking for the right people. We want the right people in the right seats. If they're passionate, if they meet a lot of our avatar, which is rebel and caregiver, we're not the same as everybody else in the industry. We'd love to talk to them.
Can you talk about some of what makes you different? What is kind of your point of differentiation?
One of the largest ones is we drive box trucks as opposed to dump trucks. It's a commitment to us taking care of the items so we can get it back out there into circulation. We believe in giving back to the community. We have relationships with the local housing authorities in the area. And a lot of people go into the housing authorities with nothing but the clothes on their backs. And it means a lot to us. It's a great privilege to be able to take the items we get from jobs and to be able to make where they're going into somewhat of a home. The industry itself is booming. It's only getting larger. We have new territories available where other territories from some of the major players might be sold out. At the moment, we have all territories available. Low staffing. Low staffing's a big thing in our industry. You can run a business with one crew leader and 1 to 2 laborers. We offer an absentee option for franchisee ownership. We offer flexible opportunities. We're more of a lifestyle business. We don't work 7 days a week. We work Monday through Friday, typically 7:30 to 2:30. No nights, no weekends. We could step in and work weekends sometimes, but we believe in family coming first. And I'm flexible because I have little kids, and if other candidates have family and kids, I mean, this is a great place for them.
Now, is it something that they kind of need a space, or is it not space kind of required? Or how much space?
Great question, Lee. It's optional. You can work out of the home. The brick and mortar is not required. As you grow within the business, it would be helpful to have some yard space. But we're ready. If somebody has a 2-car garage, we can convert that to what we call the Alamo. They can have that as a fallback position, and they can park their cars out in the driveway. But it's very flexible.
So it can flex to whatever the person, and they can kind of grow into it, right? Like they don't have to kind of bite off too much right at the start.
Yes, very organic approach.
And then when it comes to kind of your franchisees acquiring clients, how do you help them in that regard?
Well, the first thing we recommend is if you have a local network, if you are on LinkedIn, you have a strong LinkedIn in your community, if you're good on social, that'll get you busy just to start getting the word out there. We have an excellent relationship with the real estate brokers. They're tied to the junk removal industry because people need to sell their homes and they need to get rid of the junk in order to A, show it, B, sell it. So there are some organic measures to use when first coming on board. There's all kinds of opportunity out there. The old saying is everyone has junk. And of course, we're going to recommend that you use some pay when it comes to SEO with PPC and Google Ads in the basics there.
And there's no kind of getting around immersing yourself in the community. So if you're like you, that people person that likes people, that wants to shake some hands and kiss some babies, that's a good quality, right? You want somebody that is out there kind of evangelizing.
Shaking hands and kissing babies. Exactly, Lee. I mean, I was in sales for about 12 years before I started this, and most of it was cold call, boiler room culture. This is a very soft, very, very referable, highly referable business and business model. I can't tell you how many times I went to a barbecue or a party and, I meet somebody I didn't know. And, of course, hey, what do you do? And what do you do? And 9 times out of 10, I wish I had known that 2 weeks ago, but people have junk and people are in a lot of hot, I want to say hot water, but they're in a tough spot. And we come in and we take care of the people and we take care of the job and we take a lot of burden off our clients, and they're very appreciative of that.
Now, so the person in the local market, they're going to become buddies with all the real estate people, all the real estate firms, right? That's part of it. Is there a commercial angle as well, or is it primarily like kind of people in residential environments, or is there a play to go after businesses? Yes,
there's a few approaches. One of the probably the biggest ones, the assisted living facilities. We have multiple agreements and contracts with senior living facilities. That'd be the big one to start with. Real estate owned banks is another one. As I mentioned, the housing authorities as well. There's plenty of, in just businesses in general, law offices. Law offices turnover. There's plenty of ways to market this organically, whether it's just by mail or dropping off a card or joining a local networking group. There's plenty of opportunity out there.
And that's part of the playbook, that when a franchisee kind of becomes part of the family, that's what they get, is that kind of playbook on how to attack the market and how to kind of wring out the most value.
Correct.
So if somebody wants to learn more, what's the website? What's the coordinates?
Yeah, thank you. junkjunkbaby.com. You can go under our franchising part of the website. Always available for a call. Love to talk to people, love to talk to candidates, and love to introduce this great opportunity. I mean, it's almost like if I can do it, you can do it type thing. I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do for the first time in my career. I'd love to share that with others.
Good stuff. Well, Eric, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
Greatly appreciate you, Lou. Thank you very much.
All right. This is Lee Cantor. We'll see you all next time on Franchise Marketing Radio.